So there's a trend going around where we get to share videos of Latin, Hispanic, or whatever crying, talking about getting deported, and then we get to follow it up with a laugh or a F around and find out. Where we get to show videos of ourselves eating Taco Bell and saying, this is why I'm only effing with the 97%, right? Alluding to Black women. While I'm a big fan of F Around and Find Out, something that I think is happening here, and y'all know who you are, so if it don't apply, let it fly, right? Something that I see happening is there are some people out there using this as an excuse to finally let out that xenophobia and bigotry that they hold. Now, if you know me, if you've seen any of my stuff, you know I'm a big proponent of Black and brown solidarity. I don't care how many xenophobic or bigoted Black people I come across. And now I won't say I don't care about the anti-Blackness in the Latin community, because I also talk about that a lot. But what I mean by I don't care is I'm not going to let it affect how important Black and brown solidarity is to me. When I see stuff like this, I kind of try to superimpose what I already know to be bigoted and prejudiced, and then make an assessment from there. If I show a couple videos of Latin folks making asses out of themselves, voting against their interests, being smug, why, if I already know overgeneralization is how we get to the sort of bigotry that is spawned from white supremacy, for example, why would I then say, hey, in my movement, I'm going to cut out this population because look at these people behaving poorly? Who does that sound like? Who shares videos of Black and brown people behaving poorly and saying, see, this is why we need more cops, or this is why we need border patrol, or this is why yada, 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 it must be in their culture, it must be the fatherless homes, right? Let me tell you something. This cannot work without solidarity. This idea that it could be done on your own is wrong. We are fucked if we do not embrace the Rainbow Coalition of Fred Hampton. I'm not talking about kumbayaing, and I'm not talking about giving up your own personal interests and fighting for what you believe. The Young Lords fought for the Puerto Rican and Dominicans in those neighborhoods, and the Black Panthers in the same city fought for Black liberation in that city, in Chicago and New York, and yet they were in solidarity together. And guess who also was there with them? Working class white folks from the Appalachians. Don't let this idea that voting is the end all be all when it's not. What do they say? You can't destroy the master's house with his own tools. So while you sit there and you think that 70% of this, voted for Trump, yada, 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 how many people who don't agree with them just couldn't vote at all? You could think that that's stupid. I get it. I don't even know if I disagree, but it's really hard for me to look at people with prominent platforms, large creators going out there and saying, let's look at white supremacy. Let's look at why Trump won. And we have a fascist in charge. Why would my entire platform be nothing but Hispanic people hurting? Think about this. I don't think it matters. I think it's shitty anyway, because this is an opportunity to take those people who realize they fucked up and bring them into the coalition, bring them into the fight for liberation. But especially when you watch a video and all it is somebody crying, knowing you have no idea how they voted and you're still happy, then automatically connects 70% to this person hurting. What you are doing is bigotry. You are emulating white supremacy, and we're not going to win that way. My wife is Panamanian. She's an American citizen, but she's a naturalized American citizen with a birth certificate out of Panama. She has a trip coming up with her mother. Does she leave the country? Is she going to be allowed back? When they did her naturalization papers 25 years ago, was it correct? Did they get everything correct? If I don't comply, which I don't plan to, how long do I get detained for? Just because of my skin color. If I'm vulnerable, if my wife is vulnerable, so what happens then? She becomes a part of a clip? What does that do? How does this help? Don't be blue MAGA. Fight for the Rainbow Coalition. Find the people who regret how they voted. Bring them in. And stop assuming that you know that they voted for them, because really we are all suffering together. It's cope. Whenever I see memes and everywhere with sipping tea and whatever else saying, well, this is your bed. Like, this is our bed. This is one giant bed. You are here. You are in the fire with us. We are suffering together. There is no you're on your own. We have to do this together. Stay woke. Like and subscribe if you like what I have to say. I love you all.